Blue Room. How is everybody? Good to see you again. Hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. Hola, 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 ¿y cómo estás? Muy bien, y espero que tú también. I love it when you guys sing with me. Let's sing it in French. Bonjour, 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 et comment ça va? Ça va bien, et j'espère que tu vas bien aussi. Wow, so good to see everybody in my imagination. I wish I was really in the Blue Room with you guys, but it's fun to see you on our Zoom meetings. So, okay, let's look at our calendar. Here's April. Wow, almost to the end, almost to a new month. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Let's count backwards today. Okay, everybody count with me. 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great counting. Let's see what day it is. Okay? It's not Sunday. It's not Monday. It's Tuesday. Let's raise our hands on Tuesday. Ready? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, get out your snappers. Everybody sing with me. Days of the week. 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 There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. Days of the week. 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 Great job, Blue Room. Okay, what are we doing today? Okay, because it's April, have you ever heard that April showers bring May flowers? Because it's almost May, so it might be a little rainy. I think we might have some rain this week. So I thought it might be fun to make something called a rain gauge. And that's a little thing that you can measure. Every day you can go out and look and see how much it rained. So I have a bottle, just like a milk bottle or a water bottle. And this one, I cut this off. Cut the top off, or you can get your grown-up to help you. And then we're going to turn it upside down, put it back in. But before we do that, I have some rocks. Do you know what I'm going to use the rocks for? I'm going to put the rocks in the bottom because if I didn't put some rocks in the bottom, it might tip over because it's too light. So this way it's heavy. So I put the rocks in, put this in upside down, and then I'm going to use this stapler, and I'm just going to staple it in place. And you can get a grown-up to help you with that too. But it works pretty well. So now I have rocks in the bottom, and this where the rain can go down. And then what I did, turned it around, on this side I took a ruler. Okay, and what I did on this is I put the ruler at the bottom, but then I moved it up so that this says 0. Okay, so whenever you empty this, you're going to fill it back up with water to 0. Because that's your starting point, okay? And then you leave it outside, and if it rains, you're going to go check the next day or later that day, and you'll see, is it 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, or is it just overflowing the top? Okay, that would be a lot of rain. So this way, if you want to make a rain gauge, you can do it. I'm going to pour some of this water in, and we'll see. So there's 0. That's where I would just start. Every day, put that out at 0. And then if it rains, pretend this is rain. Rain, 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 rain. How much rain do we have? It's bigger than an inch, less than 2 inches, so a little over an inch. So if you want to make a chart, I decided it would be fun to keep track of the rain for a whole week. So I made this. You could do something like this with your grown-ups could help you, or big sisters or brothers. This says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So every day of the week. And over here it says 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, just like the rain gauge. Okay, so if you go out and check on Monday and there were 2 inches, I took a blue pencil and I just colored in all the way up to the 2. That's how much rain. And then I pretended that Tuesday there was no rain, so I didn't do anything. Wednesday, I pretended there was an inch, so I colored that in. And how many were there Thursday? 1, 2, 3 inches. That's right. How many were there Friday? Right, no rain. If you said 0, you were right. And how many on Saturday? 1. Good job. Okay, so you could make a rain gauge and a rain chart this week. And I might put this out in my yard. First I'm going to pour it back out though. See how this works. Try and get it to go back to 0. They call that calibrating in science. You want to have a starting point. So that's how you calibrate it. That's how you get it to 0, okay? So there we go. I'm going to put that in my yard and see how much rain that we get next week, or this week. Okay, we'll start today. It might rain today. Now, I have a story called Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Maybe you've heard this story or seen, there's a movie of this, but I've never seen the movie. This is called by Judy Barrett, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. We were all sitting around the kitchen table. It was Saturday morning, pancake morning. Mom was squeezing oranges for juice. Henry and I were betting on how many pancakes we could each eat, and Grandpa was doing the flipping. This book has great pictures. Seconds later, something flew through the air, heading towards the kitchen ceiling, and landed right on Henry. After we realized the flying object was only a pancake, we all laughed, even Grandpa. Breakfast continued quite uneventfully. All the other pancakes landed in the pan, and all of them were eaten, even the one that landed on Henry. Whoa, there's the flying pancake. And there's poor Henry. That night touched off by the pancake incident. At breakfast, Grandpa told us the best tall tale bedtime story he'd ever told. A tall tale is a tale that probably isn't true. Across an ocean, over lots of huge bumpy mountains, across 3 hot deserts and 1 smaller ocean, there lay the tiny town of Chew and Swallow. In most ways, it was very much like any other tiny town. It had a main street lined with stores, houses and trees and gardens around them, a schoolhouse, about 300 people, and some assorted cats and dogs. But there were no food stores in the town of Chew and Swallow. They didn't need any. The sky supplied all the food they could possibly want. The only thing that was really different about Chew and Swallow was its weather. It came 3 times a day, at breakfast and lunch and dinner. Everything that everyone ate came from the sky. Whatever the weather served, that was what they ate. But it never rained rain, and it never snowed snow, and it never just blew wind. It rained things like soup and juice. It snowed mashed potatoes and green peas, and sometimes the wind blew in storms of hamburgers. That's pretty crazy. The people could watch the weather report on television in the morning, and they would even hear a prediction for the next day's food. When the townspeople went outside, they carried their plates, cups, glasses, forks, spoons, knives, and napkins with them. That way they would always be prepared for any kind of weather. If there were leftovers, and there usually were, people took them home and put them in their refrigerators in case they got hungry between meals. The menu varied, but the time they woke up in the morning, breakfast was coming down. After a brief shower of orange juice, low clouds of sunny-side-up eggs moved in, followed by pieces of toast, butter and jelly sprinkled down for the toast, and most of the time it rained milk afterwards. For lunch one day, frankfurters, already in their rolls, blew in from the northeast at about 5 miles an hour. There were mustard clouds nearby. Then the wind shifted to the east and brought in baked beans. A drizzle of soda finished off the meal. That would be convenient, wouldn't it? Dinner at one night consisted of lamb chops, becoming heavy at times, with occasional ketchup. Periods of peas and baked potatoes were followed by gradual clearing, with a wonderful jello setting in the west. The sanitation department of Chew and Swallow had a rather unusual job. It had to remove the food that fell on the houses and sidewalks and lawns. The workers cleaned things up after every meal and fed all the dogs and cats. Then they emptied some of it into the surrounding oceans for the fish and turtles and whales to eat. The rest of the food was put back into the earth so the soil would be richer for people's flower gardens. I think the dogs and cats thought that was a pretty good plan. Life for the townspeople was delicious until the weather took a turn for the worst. That says on the newspaper, spaghetti ties up town. Oh dear. One day there was nothing but gorgonzola cheese all day long. The next day there was only broccoli, all overcooked. And the next day there were Brussels sprouts with peanut butter and mayonnaise. Another day there was a pea soup fog. Nobody could see where they were going, and they could barely fit the rest of the meal that got stuck in the fog. Doesn't sound like a very good week, does it? The food was getting larger and larger, and so were the portions. The people were getting frightened. Violent storms blew up frequently. Awful things were happening. One Tuesday there was a hurricane of bread and rolls all day long and into the night. There were soft rolls and hard rolls, and some with seeds and some without. There was white bread and rye bread and whole wheat toast. Most of it was larger than they had ever seen breads and rolls before. It was a terrible day. Everyone had to stay indoors, roofs were damaged, and the sanitation department was beside itself. The mess took the workers 4 days to clean up, and the sea was full of floating rolls. To help out, the people piled up as much bread as they could in their backyards. The birds picked at it a bit, but they stayed there and got staler and staler. There was a storm of pancakes one morning and a downpour of maple syrup that nearly flooded the town. A huge pancake covered the school, and no one could get it off because of its weight, so they had to close the school. Luckily, that didn't happen here. I don't think we'd want a big pancake on Cherry Preschool, do you? That might not be so good. Lunch one day brought 15-inch strips of cream cheese and jelly sandwiches. Everyone ate themselves sick, and the day ended with a stomach ache. There was an awful salt and pepper wind accompanied by an even worse tomato tornado. People were sneezing themselves silly and running to avoid the tomatoes. The town was a mess. There were seeds and pulp everywhere. The sanitation department gave up. The job was too big. Everyone feared for their lives. They couldn't go outside most of the time. Many houses had been badly damaged by giant meatballs. Stores were boarded up, and there was no more school for the children. That sounds kind of like our problem, but maybe worse. That doesn't sound so good with the meatball storms, does it? No, glad we don't have that. So a decision was made to abandon the town of Chew and Swallow. The people glued together giant pieces of stale bread with peanut butter. They took absolute necessities with them and set sail on their rafts for a new land. Sailing on a piece of bread. This is a silly book. After being afloat for a week, they finally reached a small coastal town which welcomed them. The bread had held up surprisingly well enough for them to build temporary houses for themselves out of it. The children began school again, and the adults all tried to find places for themselves in the new land. The biggest change they had to make was getting used to buying food at a supermarket. They found it odd that the food was kept on shelves, packaged in boxes, cans, and bottles. Meat that had to be cooked was kept in refrigerators, and nothing came down from the sky except rain and snow. The clouds were above their heads were not made of fried eggs, and no one ever got hit by a hamburger again. And nobody dared go back to Chew and Swallow to find out what happened. Henry and I were awake until the end of Grandpa's story. I remember his goodnight kiss. So was that a story Grandpa was telling them? Not a true story, was it? No, because that doesn't really happen. The next morning we woke up to see snow falling out our window. We ran downstairs for breakfast and ate it a little faster than usual so we could go sledding with Grandpa. That looks more normal. It's funny, but even as we were sliding down the hill, we thought we saw a giant pat of butter at the top, and we could almost smell mashed potatoes. What was the butter? Was that really the sun coming up? Yep. And the next page says, the end. Well, I have to say, I'm really glad it doesn't rain meatballs and mashed potatoes, aren't you? That's a really crazy book, so we're pretty lucky that we only get rain. Okay, now there's a couple songs about rain. I bet you know them. Before we say goodbye, how about you sing with me? Okay, there's the first one I know that says, it's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. He went to bed and he bumped his head and he couldn't get up in the morning. You want to sing it one more time? Okay, sing with me. It's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. He went to bed and he bumped his head and he couldn't get up in the morning. Okay, and then the other rain song I know, and you know this I'm sure, is rain, rain, go away, come again another day. Little Johnny wants to play, rain, rain, go away. Okay, so you could put any name in there. You could put your own name. So I hope you guys have a great week, and maybe you can find out how much it rains if it rains. Okay, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, Blue Room. Goodbye, Blue Room. Goodbye, Blue Room. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, Lily. Goodbye, Nora. Goodbye, Liam. Time to say goodbye. Goodbye, May. Goodbye, Emery. Goodbye, Rosalind. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, Tessie. Goodbye, Evelyn. Goodbye, Beckham. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, Anna. Goodbye, Veronica. Goodbye, Julia. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, Emma. Goodbye, Pip. Goodbye, Arohi. Time to say goodbye. Okay, have a great day. I'll see you soon.